Well, I'll be going through my master copy recording of David here, and I'll be sharing what I'm looking at to self-correct my forms, shapes, and proportions. Um, Main tools I'm using or what I'm looking at is silhouette, light shapes, shadow shapes, and abstract shapes. So right away, I'll be showing you guys how I'm looking at silhouette. So let's say on this screenshot here, you can see that just the external silhouette is quite similar. But then you're going to notice right here, they're quite different to show this is what I need to adjust. And if you look at the external shape right here for the arm, right here for mine can be a little bit lower. And then this shape right here is quite large, while this one is small, which shows that I need to chop up some forms here or raise the hand. And then going through with some light shapes, you can see right here, the light shape's kind of more broad, while this one it's kind of like curving. Also, right here, you're going to notice a form that's round, while right here, you can see that it's at a different spot. And right here, you can see like a light that's more of like a block, and then soften, or it rolls outward, while right here, it looks more sharp. So form-wise, from an angle, it looks something like this, while this one would be more like this. Oops, I guess more like this. And then shadow shapes. You can see how sharp this shadow is, while right here it's a little bit more soft. Or you can see this curve, while this is a little bit lower, like it's cutting. So I need to add a little bit more forms up here, and then soften this down here. And then abstract shapes. Right here feels, so right here I'm just going to be creating abstract shapes. I'm just going to be creating a perfect cube because it feels like there's a volume or a cube right here. While right here it feels more stretched. And I think this is due to my neck right here being too short. And if I were to raise the head up, and also I think my shoulders right here is a lot higher. So if I pull the shoulders up, it'll create more of a stretch box. If I raise the shoulder, you can see this volume will feel more like this. And let's go through some other shots. Trying to find a shot with more of the bigger picture. All right, let's go this one. So silhouette-wise, it looks quite similar on the right side here, or the internal. From the left here, you can see how this is like sharper, and this is a little bit more broad. So I need to raise my arm out a little bit. If I were to look at light shapes, you can see how, like right here, there's a block of light, and mine looks like it's kind of sharpening a little bit too much. Or this volume here, just kind of like a block of light, and I'm completely missing that. Or how there's a block of light here, and mine feels more like it's tapering. For silhouette, you can see how it's kind of curving. Well, I think mine's kind of dipping too fast. So it should be more like this. Judging through silhouette, it looks quite similar, but I noticed this thing or this part of the arm can be pulled up. Chop some of this top part out. You see this feels more straight, while this is kind of curving too much. This feels a bit more straight, while this is like an S curve. Or also the back. You see how the back right here is more straight. This is like more tubing, more rounded. Looking at shadow shapes, we can see a sharp shadow here, but right here it's kind of more faded or too round. Something I gotta edit. For this one, looking at the light shape, you can see a block of light that's doing something like this here. Well, you can see mine over here. Not only is it more towards the left, it's sharper. And also, it's not really continuing and rolling upward. Some shadow shapes right here. Some extra forms I need to adjust. Certain angles, if we were looking at silhouette, right here feels a lot straighter. Well, this is like kind of curving inward. Looking at the silhouette here looks like a bigger triangle while this one looks smaller. So I gotta be cutting more inward on the arm. And I think I need to kind of pull the elbow down more. Yeah, also on this angle, I think it needs something, a little bit more volume here. And if you look at the shadow right here, sure. Looks like it's kind of missing this, like a little bit more form over here. And something right here feels off. Kind of chisel it, kind of subtract more form there. You can see a block of light. That's not really showing through, so that means I need to go make this flatter, push it in. The light right here, it's like a block, so it's like more flat. This one, it's kind of bumpy, and then it's softening outward. Silhouette, you could see huge difference. And also this gap right here. I think I end up pulling up the arm, or I noticed this after. But we would look at, let's say, some light shapes. We can see like there's like an L or a V like shape here, but mine is just kind of this. It's kind of missing this right here. And this light is very, well, this is more stretched. This kind of looks, you see the light kind of continuing downward. This looks a little bit too sharp. And it doesn't really feel like it's continuing down. So that means the forms are kind of bumpy here. Well, this feels more like it's together. Right here, you can see just big silhouette differences. And then shadow shape compared to this. And then reading on towards the chin, this feels like a softer roll, while this feels more like a hard change, like plane change, cut. Should be more soft. Reading into more block of light, you can see this big block is saying this plane is more flat, while this is changing too rapidly. Sharp light, while this is a little bit more. And then you can see the light kind of rolling here. You can see this is a little bit more muddy or more broad. Block of light. See this a little bit. This form is saying it's too rounded and too soft. Well, this is saying it's like more planar. Right. Same for the neck. Right here. This form right here is saying this going down this way. While this one right here is saying it's more sharp, like it's peaking. It's exaggerated, but it's like peaking. It needs to be a little bit softer, more rounded. From this angle, I think I need to pull it out more. And my form right here is feeling too soft, too rounded overall. While you can see how this feels a little bit more blocky. It feels like it has more straight. So let's to show you. This feels more. While this little bit different. And then this block of light, mine is more towards the right. So I gotta flan some of these form here. And it'll push this highlight. over here. And then right here, you can kind of see this light is rolling this way. While this mine is kind of, the peak of the form is going this way. So something I got to adjust. Same for this. It's just this way. Looking at it outside silhouette, I need to adjust it like this. More rounded. Clavicle's feeling too straight. This feels like it's curving a little bit. The light right here is peaking too fast. Well, this feels more broad. It's missing this. Looking at outside silhouette, this feels too curved. Well, this feels a little bit more straight and a little bit curved. This is just like one big curve. A little bit exaggerated, but you can kind of see. It's missing some light. All right. Hope that helped.
Free audio post-production by alphonic.com.